Okay, as you can see, I've got some cardboard webbing down, and then I've used this same technique that I've used. Is just basically just wad up paper, tape it together, and kind of tape it, and that'll form the heel. And that'll be up right against my fascia board, which hopefully will give a nice transition. May not be as high as I want it, but time I put trees on and everything, I think it'll be all right. I might could put some more up this way. Let me come around this side. I probably need to increase this just a little bit more. And then we'll get to putting the cloth on it, the plaster cloth, and I'll let that dry. All right, so let me get some more paper up here, and then I'll start the plaster cloth operation. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut the plaster cloth and lay this down. I guess hindsight's 2020. Probably should have put these rock formations in last, as I got some of this material on it. I don't know if I can get that off. Maybe I can blend some landscaping or something in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start it, and just going to lay this out, let it dry overnight, and then we'll come back and put another coat of plaster on top of that. So we'll get started. I wished I had a table that I could get this closer to, but I don't. And you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of laying across here, and I'm sure there's a ton of videos, but just basically want this to smooth out as best I can. All right, there we go. We've got this mountain finished. I would like to have been a little bit higher, but what we'll have to do is kind of mark this off on this end a little bit more, and have that recut, I guess. But I think it looked out pretty good. My next step is this will dry, and then tomorrow night I'll come up and I mix some plaster, and I'll coat this again. That'll seal up all the small holes, and it'll make it even harder. And then once I finish that, then these little spaces here I can put some rocks on that I've molded, and probably lightly sand it to knock some of the high spots down, and then that portion will be ready to paint, and then we can start on the river scene. Okay, so as you can see, I've got everything covered. Took the fascia board down because I want to round this edge off. And normally I would, and I'll show this too, but I take spackling compound or joint compound and water that down and kind of smooth this, and then I can sand it a little bit. But I've got some really rough edges and stuff that I want to try to take care of, and I've got this Sculptamold, and I have never used this before. I've read just get it like cottage cheese, and I'm going to put that on here to even out some of these areas that are just a little too deep, and some areas where the plaster cloth, the threads show through that would probably take a lot of material to coat that. And that's doing pretty good. And hopefully after this dries it'll look good. If not, I'm gonna have a big mess. Alright, so all these materials that I have are at least, I don't know, 10 or 15 years old, I guess. So hopefully they're still work. One of the plaster cloth rolls I had must have got damp, and there was just, I couldn't salvage it. I could use it. It would stick to the newspaper or cardboard, so I mean I could use it as a covering for big areas, but for really the purposes I needed for the top layers, it wouldn't work. So I don't know what that is. Let me get rid of that. I know you can still buy this stuff. I've seen it in like Hobby Link and other internet supply houses. But basically the consistency, like I said, is I've got it like cottage cheese, and it's like a paper and plaster material, and that's going on pretty good there. Alright, so I've got everything done. I wanted to sand this to kind of finish this episode out, but unfortunately this Sculptamode is just not drying very fast, and I read on the instructions it may take several days, so we're working on, you know, over 48 hours I'd say, and ran a dehumidifier in here last night. It's pretty good size one I used to keep when I used to do some beekeeping, and it's still damp. This portion's a little bit drier. I'd like to sand a little bit before I paint it, but this area over here is pretty wet. As you can see, I've got a dryer, a little heater running right now, and I've got to leave for a minute, and then I'm gonna have to put another dryer in here to try to get this heated up, because I wanted to go ahead and my next step was to paint the rock formations and stain them, get those ready, and paint overall. But there's some areas I want to sand, and I tried doing it, but it's just damp. Instead of sanding, it just kind of scrapes it. So for right now, that's all I can do, and until the next time. I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button and the like button if you like what you see, and please, any comments, I'd love to see them, especially any help comments. As like I said, I've not really done a lot of this, and so any help I can get is greatly appreciated. Thank you and have a great day.